The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, everyone. I'm Judy Von Esch. This is Chicago Hidden City. Spotter, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I am Antera, and I will be playing Spotter the Nosferatu.
Hey, everybody. I am Mama McStabber, and I'll be playing Dr. Taylor Hammond of Clan Bruja.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ree, and I'll be playing Kajai of Clan La Sombra.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Lee Villar. I will be playing Dr. Magnus Sanchez of Clan Gangrel.
And hi, everyone. I'm Maddox, not Magnus, Jesus. And I will be playing Dr. Theodore Smith, Clan Tremere.
Well, Tremere is forgetting who he is. Hi, y'all, quoting Mama McStabber. Choices were made this week. So we're going to actually start on Friday night. And most kindred are asleep. But not these people. Oh, no. They're all utilizing somebody's lore sheet. I don't know who, but I can tell you.
Enjoy the sex.
The sex did not happen tonight, or at least it hasn't happened yet.
It was sex adjacent.
Because our murder hobos decided to go to Capone and teach him a lesson, or at least knock on his door to say hello. And I'm hoping that they all wore body condoms because
syphilis is a bitch, y'all.
You're not wrong. Kajai and Magnus decided to, shall we say, smack his bitches up to the point where they leveled pretty much everyone that was in this facility on Lake Helmet. And then Spider decided he was going to come in clutch. So clutch that he decided to level or try to level a warehouse. Y'all. He not only leveled the warehouse, but he leveled all of the other. He rolled a 10 crit. He didn't level just one building. He leveled all the buildings and then leveled a bit of the ground itself to let Lake Calmet go over it and fill up the space, which then let Calmet River that draws from Lake Michigan come to fill up the lake again, which oversplashed a bit into Little Calmet River, which goes west of where the city is. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start this little wonderful evening with Taylor and Theo, and they happen to be at which club did you just decide to choose?
We were going to Blue Velvet.
Yeah, we saved Bronwyn, and she said, come check it out. That's an open invitation to one of the ritziest places in Chicago. So yeah, Blue Velvet.
So as you go in and you're starting to enjoy your evening, Spotter, why don't you describe what you're wearing?
Sure. Spotter is not wearing his usual, well, I am, but he's not wearing his usual drab green olive army coat. He's dressed like you would see in the Hidden City chat. Essentially, it's a modernized version of what the gangster Peaky Blinders would wear. It's a really, really nice suit. It fits perfectly. It's you're not sure where he got this. It's a really nice suit.
On his arm is Misty, Magnus's, shall we say, adopted sister or broodmate or, little kid, whatever. And she's on his arm. And Spotter, it's not hard to see where Taylor and Theo are. I'm going to let you start this off with greeting the T Squad.
All right. Before we go over, how we doing, Misty? This your scene?
It's really, really cool. Oh my God, there they are. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be pointing. I have to remember Disney pointing.
Disney pointing.
Got you. Oh, do you want to just run over there or are we sauntering?
Oh, no. Girl, look at us. We are sauntering.
Okay. I can totally saunter. Not a problem.
Good. You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You did too.
Did you hear someone shout earlier?
Taylor just kind of grunts a little bit and looks over. Oh, it looks like Spotter and Misty have shown up.
Well, they've seen us. You blew our cover.
I'm sorry. I didn't know we were supposed to be on cover.
I'll pat her hand and we'll walk over.
Hey, everyone.
Good evening.
Dr. Smith. If you may not recognize this, this is indeed Misty.
No, I recognize her. She's got the same face.
Oh, Jesus.
You look lovely, Misty.
Yeah, you do too. I love the curls. That's so awesome.
Yeah, Taylor has her hair done up in a very curly updo. And also she is wearing a purple dress that has a sheer top of the bust area. And it also has flowers embroidered on top of the dress all over it. And the images are in Discord in Chicago Hidden City.
Whereas Theo is wearing, seems like maroon was the color of choice for his suit for tonight. There is no extra extravagance. His hair is, it's showered and looks good. And styled to a point where it doesn't look terrible. Like you wouldn't be embarrassed to see a photo of you with him. Like he's not super fancy or anything like that, but he's not poor looking or bad looking.
Well, those are nice. Yeah, those are nice studs. Do you dress up this often, Dr. Smith?
No, not really.
Why not?
Do you have any idea how stressed I am wearing this thing?
No.
You look great. Don't worry about it.
Yes, but one stain and I have to clean it. And this suit is a pain in the ass to clean.
Oh, Jesus.
It's club soda.
Not for this much. It doesn't matter.
Do you guys have a table or is it a...
Yeah,
booth?
we're sitting at a booth.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll sit down. I'll let Misty sit down first. But
Misty, well, and she'll look over and Spire. She'll go, are you going to tell him?
Jesus. I mean, they're going to find out pretty soon anyways.
I know.
Are we hearing sirens in the city at this point?
You
Okay.
will.
Okay.
The Wee Woo Squad will happen.
Tell us what?
Oh, how Magnus and I have been itching for certain syphilis-ridden... Misty, stop. Well, we paid a visit to one of his shipping interests down. What's the location of the?
It's on Calumet. It's on Lake Calumet.
On Lake Calumet.
It was a trucking facility.
Trucking. Figured pay him a visit, do some damage, leave. Everything was going fine. Then I might have hit the support beam too hard. What do I mean by too hard? Well, it had the intended effect. The warehouse came down. But then there was a chain reaction, and then the building next to it, that also fell down. And then the building to the north of it, that also fell down. Basically, all the buildings around it also fell down. And then, I did mention Lake Calumet for a reason, not just for the location, but it might have damaged some of the banks to the lake. And then there might be a new lake where the shipping interest used to be.
At this time, you start to hear one wee woo go past the club.
So yeah.
Two now go by.
I see what Missy was talking about.
Another two go by.
Spotter's just looking around.
Claire's legit laughing like this. She's just like, oh my God.
Where you go by?
Even here, Theo, you look down and see that Theo has his doctor's bag between his legs. So he will open it, reach in. You see, he doesn't take anything out just yet, but like does something inside the bag. You hear a ripping noise, and then he hands the smallest folded slip of paper over to Taylor.
And what does it? She grabs it and reads it. What does it say?
It's a Latin phrase that says "non timeo sed caveo," which translates to "I fear not, but I am cautious."
She just
Another
takes
two
it,
go by?
slams it on the paper on the table, and just holds her head and just dies laughing.
She's taking this better than I thought.
I know, right? Going for a post-slaughter drink was going to be the best.
There's only one hiccup I can foresee immediately.
Oh no, I'm fully expecting my phone to ring any fucking minute.
Another one goes by.
I pray your night is not spoiled, Miss Mentor.
It won't be.
Another two go by.
Hilarious.
All right. With all the sirens, have we seen Bronwyn like poke her head out from somewhere or check?
Everyone is kind of like looking at the door, and Bronwyn's just telling everyone go back to your drinks.
That they're not coming here.
Right.
Yes, this doesn't
They're
involve
going past.
Oh God.
It's like, see, I told you, if you told them, it'd be fine.
Yeah. Message sent. That's all. Message sent.
Message sent. I think that was more of a neon bullet board going, bitch, we're here.
You know, the orders were scorched earth, and you delivered, Spotter.
Message, massage.
Well, maybe not exactly scorched, but liquid. Anything else?
Right.
Hello, we need a new lake.
Oh, Daddy's going to be
got
thoroughly impressed.
Seriously, I'll pat Misty on the shoulder. This is what happens when people fuck with us.
Sure.
I should say, in some ways, Spotter, you may have done more net good than even what you initially intended, because if those buildings could collapse just from one small chain reaction, maybe they
obviously weren't up to code.
Ever.
Right. I'm basically an OSHA inspector. Sorry.
Are you kidding? So the scene from space, she actually pulls her purse and pulls out and shows the satellite pictures of before, after. She's like, I mean, you can now fish.
Oh, wow. The lake really did just carve it all away.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fucking fantastic. Let me guess. He's gone to ground now.
If he didn't then, he must be now.
Yep.
Because that's a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, it is.
He had the audacity.
The river is pouring from Lake Michigan to fill up
the hole. Yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't reverse the polarity of the river, but oh my God.
No.
It Wait a minute. No, wait. Only you can do this, right, Spotter? We can't do this, right?
Oh, wait a second.
Well, you probably can't do this, dear.
That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah, you guys could probably totally do that.
Do what?
And
You
thus
guys-
collaboration strikes again.
But literally, Taylor's going to look at her watch and be like, man, y'all had an early start, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. We were asleep when that happened.
Missy's going to try and say something, but she's like, I can't out people. She's like, nope.
Keep that inside voice inside.
Mm-hmm.
With any luck, it doesn't affect infrastructure too much more. I feel like what you've done is manageable.
Yeah.
Any cover-ups that need to be done? Anything like that?
I'm not that kind of spin doctor.
Were there any cameras that were fortunately shut off? And Theo will just like really directly indicate to Misty, like, please tell me you did that.
Oh, well, I mean, there really wasn't any cameras around there.
Okay.
That was in his
So
territory.
long as there was nothing caught.
I mean, I may or may not have downloaded all of their servers and downloaded their information prior to the Beastie Boys deciding to go take a visit there, and someone decided to drop a beat and, level something. She looks over to Spotter. I may have gotten all of their information prior to that, but
Good thinking. Cameras have trouble with me anyways.
Does that count for those near you or specifically just you?
Right now, just me.
oh, what, you can just spread a little of that out there?
I've met some Nosferatu where the second they're captured on any electronic device, the entire device just fritzes out and stops working. It's like a much more effective version of what the La Sombra deal with, although the La Sombra don't seem to be able to control it.
Oh, you meant that? Yes, that is something similar that happens to me. I can't share that, though.
Why not?
Certain tricks I haven't mastered.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you ever want...
Oh, go ahead. Go. No, go.
If you ever want to meet those who can do anything, not necessarily learn, but do anything, the word you're looking for is Kaitif.
Oh.
They can technically, by the scope of possibility, do anything.
Are those people without the clan?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a more antiquated term.
Right. They tend to keep to themselves. They are looked down upon by the higher clans.
The only ones worse off are thin bloods.
That is the truth. Right.
Because they're the ones that don't get it all. And a whole bunch of malarkey that back at Grandpa was trying to tell me, and I just washed my heads over it.
Some people think they're the heralds of the apocalypse.
And they've been
times,
saying that about young ones for centuries.
Oh, he pulled out this big, huge black book, and then he went over and then he said some old words, and then I was just like, yawn. And I tried falling asleep, but I couldn't. It was boring.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
So I went, yeah, okay.
I mean, we're
I know
young
the
to
book.
like a fifth or fourth or third generation. We could be the sign of the apocalypse.
Exactly.
Whatever.
We would have been
Right.
many years ago. So, yes, it's
stupid.
the thing is, old ones always believe that young ones are the sign of the end times because they know what kindred do. What they
Who they-
do best.
Oh, destroy each other?
Yes, that.
Oh, okay, cool.
And literally, they know because of the way they treat the young that the young are going to eventually want to eat them.
Ew. Do you know where they've been? Do you really want that stuff in your body?
For
Ew.
us, most of the time, many would, yes.
Yes, for power.
Oh, that thing, right.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So they're always saying that the young are the sign of the end times for them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that big, huge book is just a whole bunch of fables, tales, and things to try and keep me in line then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. It's the next Bible I will totally ignore. Fantastic.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
I will add all of it to the list. While we're talking, Dr. Hammond, you do get a text.
She looks at her phone.
Oh, it's from Jackson. You know that. And he'll go, so busy tonight? ?
She's going to respond. Not particularly at Blue Velvet presently.
Any of your friends busy tonight?
She just says, yeah.
Bring down a house ?
Disrespectful.
She sends back, what were the orders?
Why don't you come in and tell me what happened exactly? Bring the friends.
She says, let me at least get one dance in before I come in. Thanks. And
He doesn't bother responding with that one.
God. And she says, I'm not demanding little shit. And then she puts it back in her bag and says, Misty, would you like to dance?
Sure, I've been dying to, but I didn't know these two guys danced either. So I was just like,
She looks to both of them. No, they don't dance. And she says, come on, let's go.
I can search the 6 decks. Stop it.
As the two of them walk away, Theo will just like side look over to Spotter and say, I mean, they're right. I have 2 left feet on the dance floor.
Can't you fix that? You're a Tremere.
That's not the sort of thing a Tremere wants to fix. It doesn't seem important to him. There's... In such little time, I have performed feats of magic that I didn't think I would ever be capable of. It's just an odd feeling to be excellent.
Okay. Well, I mean, last week was pretty impressive, sir. Did we want to chat before we get caught up with the rest of them?
Yeah, may as well hammer that out.
Sure.
While we have the chance.
Mm-hmm. Lydia.
That's my goal down there. I'm guessing with all the stuff that keeps happening, you might have some things you want to accomplish as well.
Yes. And I do. But I agreed to try to get you in there. So this isn't me holding you over the coals or anything, just maybe some friendly advice for dealing with my clan. Are you familiar with fairly recent history, Chicago and the Nosferatu?
I'm slowly becoming more familiar with it as we exist here.
Sure.
So fill me in on bullet points at the very least.
The main bullet point is 1992, when a certain Tremere, Abraham, decided to try and wipe out the Chicago Nosferatu with flooding. Didn't succeed. Did pretty well. Didn't succeed. The ones that are left still pretty pissed off at him, but he was under the protection of Peterson. And now Peterson is gone. Now, I understand that, and this is not me trying to take a decision away from someone. I understand that it was important for you to talk to Mel Davis because he was been directly impacted by her as well. Maybe what I'm trying to get at is suggest to her that another option, which could breed some goodwill between at least you in our clan. Maybe not the Tremere at whole, but at least you would be to hand over Abraham.
I will put it in as a suggestion. The problem with Mel Davis is that she has an unfortunate medical condition. She cares about people, and it seems like her beast makes sure that she cares too. I haven't been as sensitive to humanity as she is in quite some time, so it was harder for me to relate on some things.
No, and I completely understand that.
So I don't know if she would necessarily want to give him up regardless of what atrocity he has brought down on her.
True. If it does help, there was a more recent flooding, and we could show her what happens when people try to step on my clan. Just to give a visual to, yes, he committed an atrocity. This is the impact.
If you want, I could pass along some contact information, see if she'd want to speak with you directly.
That would work.
Or I could also probably get Tracy to go. They seem to be reliably connected. It's sometimes hard to find Mel Davis because she's around Anarchs.
Understood.
As it turns out, they're rather busy.
But again, either way, however this plays out, I can still get you down there. But keep in mind, when the flooding of 92 happened, Lydia was the one who stood with us. She's protected. And I'm not saying that because I think you would do something or try anything. You won't. I know you won't. But it's a very sensitive issue for us.
Yes. And knowing what she is, a valuable thing to keep safe.
100%.
But yes, I fully intend and have made arrangements with a contact. I will have the offering for her whenever we would need to head down. The only thing I really need from you is the guidance, and maybe carry the offering and smack him over the head if he starts waking up. Beyond that.
Right. No, I'll be with you the whole time. They won't let you down there without me, or at least one of us.
Maybe if I get lost from you, I'll get lucky and a gargoyle will just behead me, and then everything will be over and done with. No, I have to accept that the ones down there don't seem to hate me. So strange.
As they talk, Dr. Hammond, you and Miss T get at least not one, not two, but 4 dances in. To the point of, not only have you gone from jazz and swing to the latest pop hits, but also, a couple of really good ones too. So she shows her dexterity as well as just how well she really does dance, and can actually utilize that in fighting if need be.
And Taylor shows her the same. That she is incredibly graceful and dexterous, and that she is able to not only dance with her, she's able to lead.
Okay, Andy, you've got to teach me how to do the one thing and the flip. Can you do the flippity flip and then kind of like nail down?
Yeah.
Did you see Wonder Woman?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so when she does that one real cool ass flip with the shield, can you teach me how to do that?
Perhaps.
Cool. Another wee woo goes by.
Well, I think we should gather the gentlemen, and I'll send a message out to the others because the prince has summoned us.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to stay at my place if you'd like.
Can I? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Magnus' place is nice, but at the same time.
Yeah. Change of scenery would be good.
Oh, you're not wrong.
That's fine. Yeah, let's go grab the guys.
And you go back. And then to whom are you going to text? Kajai or Magnus?
Um,
The choices.
probably Magnus. She'd let him know we all need to meet with Kevin. And Misty's going to stay at my place.
Magnus, you can go ahead and respond if you'd like.
He would just text back saying, "All right, see you there."
Kajai. Oh, go ahead.
And because she knows better, she will actually. Kajai, does she have your ghoul's number?
Yes.
Okay, she will text the ghoul because at least she knows the ghoul can get texts. She'll text. We need to meet with Kevin. Let Kajai know to the ghoul.
And Kajai will get a pager message. Kajai and Magnus, where are you at exactly?
We are currently dealing with the remnants of a pack. So I would say abandoned warehouse somewhere, maybe on the limits of Chicago proper.
So you're several blocks west of your other slaughter. And as you have literally toppled not only a warehouse, but probably the two remaining sides of a business office from what was or what could have been, some kind of Sabat agency, you do manage to walk away with finding out that there is a man known as Ardent Canty in Joliet that is a leader of the Church of Cain. Before Kajai finally rammed his sword into somebody's neck. That's when Magnus gets his text from Taylor and Kajai gets his pager message. And I'll let you two react.
Okay. Well, looks like we need to go talk to the prince.
Wonderful. Wonder if the other Primogen will be there.
Well, I'd say we did good work tonight, taking care of this. What was that one, by the way? I'm not familiar with the whole ranks of the Sabat and such.
He was supposed to be a priest, but well, he had the preaching part down, not the fighting.
What kind of priest?
Disappointing. I've never really understood exactly what they mean by priest. Apparently, you mentioned they have some sort of leader for the Church of Cain, but I don't know if they're all priests of that or if there's some special Sabbat thing that they are preaching for. They tend to not explain very much further than that, at least when I'm fighting them.
Fair enough. He texts back Taylor. On the way, was settling a religious dispute.
She texts back, fascinating. That's it.
Need a ride?
Sure, why not?
Kajai will leave his weapons inside of the trunk of his the Ghoul's car and prepare to go. Head over. I have some spare
Magnus's weapons
shirts if you need
disappear
them.
into his hands.
Okay, Wolverine.
I appreciate that. I have a change of clothes. Always carry one as a doctor. You never know when you're going to get blood on you.
Do you do the doctor thing for fun, or do you do it to maintain humanity?
My father always taught me that we have a responsibility wherever we live to make things better. Whether that be through building houses, through helping people live longer, eradicating diseases, what have you. It's a philosophy I've carried on ever since. My clinics will serve anyone. They don't have to have insurance. They don't have to even be able to pay. The ones that I know can pay, pay well because they know that they can, as long as they're not, at this point, as long as they're not Capone's people, they can come to any of my clinics and get treatment with no questions asked and no reports written.
Very humane.
It's how I keep from going down the path of becoming a white. Or just walking into the sun.
I suppose. I guess we all have to do what we can.
Besides, a more peaceful city, one where people can get the medical care they need, is a more prosperous city, a city that does not look as closely at the underbelly, shall we say. Something I've noticed, the more prosperous a city is, the less they want to look into what is holding up that prosperity.
Ah, you sound like the Ventru.
I had to survive among them. Got taught by one of Lodin's brood because my sire literally dropped me on his doorstep.
Wasn't aware the gang would have got along with the Ventru well enough for that kind of cooperation.
It was less cooperation and more, she said, here, he'll owe you a life debt once you figure out once you teach him how to survive in this world. There's a reason I don't have a good opinion of my sire. Thankfully, he died in 93, so...
Your hand, or?
No, it was the Sabbat fighting all the fighting that happened during 93, and I happened to just not be present.
Sounds like you had your difficulties. My sire was different. Not entirely sure I would say she was kinder, but we spent more of our time with the Ashira and Etheris's London, which was different.
How did that work out for you?
It was fun, for lack of a better word. My cousins were very interested in making sure I knew how to do things appropriately. I mentioned I got to work with Lucita briefly. She was also spending time with a Malkavian man named Anatole, I think. I never really understood half what he was talking about. It was interesting to see how they thought the refusal to learn technology was just more comfortable.
I have heard some of your clan can use technology when they choose to. The Bane seems to flow in a different direction for them.
I think so. And I've seen some of the younger ones are able to kind of force it, but well, my assumption, my thought is that it requires a level of understanding that I never picked up. Don't know if it's too late to do so, or if it is something that could be done with training or practice. But I also don't really get it, to be honest. It seems faster, sure, but less efficient.
That's fair. There's positives and negatives to it. You looking to go into the abyss mysticism then?
Yes, my great sire was interested in showing me something. Montano. According to him, my blood is too weak to learn exactly what he could do, but I've picked up a few tricks. There may be more.
Well, once we take care of Capone, maybe your blood will be strong enough.
Perhaps that would be interesting, though. Must admit, I'm not exactly excited to meet him again.
I'm excited to meet him for the last time.
I've noticed you are, I don't know, more personal about your conflicts with Capone. I understand attacking your sister, broodmate, but it is a bit different than what I'm used to. Much less, everyone for themselves, as the humans would say.
That is part of being a gangrel. We're not quite how the Nos are, but we tend to run in packs. But also, I'm a doctor, and to this city, Capone is a cancer. He offends me on a personal level. His existence offends me. Loden should have never turned him.
Was hubris. Perhaps if he left him locked away for a few more decades, it would have been wiser. How do you know the next person won't be worse?
I'm pretty sure once we take out Capone, that Neely and Naomi will be dividing up whatever is left of his empire. And that's also part of the reason why I wanted to do what I did earlier tonight. And I appreciate you and Spotter helping. It made it a much bigger object lesson than I could have done alone.
It was concerning, but effective. Two are dangerous.
Naomi is more discreet and also has the same mindset of a more prosperous city is a safer city for kindred. The less overt crime there is, the less excuses the 2I have to come in with their usual jackboots and flamethrowers.
I'm sure she does. I'm sure they all do at the beginning. Everyone always convinces themselves that they can solve the problem. But over the centuries, that humanity starts to fade. Who knows what'll be left behind?
It's true, but not all lose their humanity completely. After all, you met Taylor's ancestor, and the man practically looked like he was fully alive.
Still don't fully understand what the kindred who get to be that old do. And it's strange that they even have a reason to wake up, let alone to do things. I imagine all of this gets repetitive after 1,000 years, 2,000.
I mean, think about what we've lived through in just a couple hundred, the changes that have happened. We've seen the advent of much technology, many wars, many countries rising and falling. If you stay connected to the mortal world and don't withdraw, it could keep you interested for a long time. If nothing else, you could just buy an entire library, retire to a home out in the middle of nowhere, and read for a few decades.
Perhaps they do something. I don't know. It makes me concerned if he's around. He's found something to do. It makes me worry that others older than him would also be around. But officially, that is forbidden or whatnot for the tower.
Well, let's just make sure we don't end up on their list of things to do.
On that we can agree.
It's at this time your ghoul gets you to Elysium. And by the magic of everything working like clockwork, Spotter, Taylor, and Theo show up at the same time.
Yeah, Taylor had Lena show up here to pick up Misty and take her back to her place.
Oh, look fancy.
Yeah, yes, we were at the Blue Velvet.
I have a change of clothes in my car if needed. A smart doctor always has a change of clothes.
True.
But I don't need them yet.
Before we enter, is there anything we need to go over?
Oh, basically, lots of police have been heading to Southside.
And Spotter seems to have made a new friend of Gravity.
Yeah, and Kevin asked if I was busy tonight, and I said no, I was just enjoying myself at Blue Velvet. And he's like, well, were your friends busy? And I'm like, yes. So likely Kevin just wants to know what went down so he can know how to spin it. Because he knows what our orders were, and we're executing.
He was in the room when they were issued.
Exactly.
He can't argue.
So,
I mean, he countersigned them, so...
Yeah. So let's go in and deal with this so we can all go about our damn business.
As you guys... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You said let's go.
As you guys walk into Elysium, it's a busy night. There are people gossiping corners to corners. The roses are running around because harpies are a thing. You do see Bastion's group of Toreadors doing spin doctor-y things, and they are doing exactly what he has told them to do.
Does Taylor look better than every fucking rose in this place tonight?
Do you have to ask me that question? Honestly.
I mean, she's just rubbing it in their nose just a little bit.
It's more of as you're walking in, you're seeing all this go in. Once the Toreador do see you, I don't know how to completely describe silence.
Oh my God, you enraptured them.
It's silence.
Pin can't drop.
They're all like trained on her because she not only is her hair like curled up, she also has night blooming phlox blooms woven through her hair. She smells like almonds, vanilla, and honey as she's walking through the room.
Things have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a Toreador, the Bruja. Some of the lingering Tremere that Theo may or may not know. You do see Malkavians. You see a lot of people just stop, and they look at Taylor and they look at all of you, and you just hear, Celia's voice, because I can't remember names at the moment, just yelling, "Go about your business, or I'm breaking skulls."
When she provides that excellent extra distraction on top of Taylor being Taylor, I would love to do a quick check about the room for Abraham.
Sure. That means go for it. Anyone else like to do anything while you are now literally walking and Taylor has mesmerized?
Without even using any powers. She's just stunning.
Well, people have never seen Taylor like this before.
Oh, no, and she is thoroughly to the nines tonight. So.
My fellow Primogen here.
Yeah. Annabelle is one of the people staring at Taylor, of course. Yes, go ahead.
So Sorry. Because any notable others, any other notables we've encountered, NPCs that we've previously?
You definitely do see 8 Ball. She's spinning some things. Belle is like flittering around. There are some jingles about. You do see a couple other Nosferatu afoot, and everyone is looking at your group, mainly Taylor, but everyone's looking at you guys as well because you kind of come in, tour de force. What did you get, Theo?
Nothing good. I got 1 success total, so I didn't fail, but I wouldn't exactly call it a good roll.
You hear a clopping of a cane, but you look that there's several other people wearing canes, but you notice that you could hear that cane that he kind of walks with.
Okay, I'll just try and keep.
I'll roll a wits
clicking.
awareness to observe as I'm walking through who I see.
I'll just keep, since I can't pinpoint, I'll just keep all of the cane clicks I hear in the back of my head. Because if he starts getting close to me, I need to not be where he
7
wants
with
me
a
to
crit.
be.
Okay.
Thank you. Makes up for my pathetic display earlier.
And that was wits awareness with instincts, also her specialty.
You do see him talking in a corner with he's tapping his cane a little bit because he's trying to understand what's going on. And he's not talking to Tremere. He's actually talking to a whole bunch of different people. But they're all kind of having they're having a debate.
Taylor will tap, because I imagine she's walked in kind of arm in arm with Theodore. She will tap and then point with that finger to Abraham so that he can see him.
I'll just start committing the faces of the people that's talking to him to memory, Junie, and just keep going towards wherever Kevin is. I have other things to do, but it's good to know who's talking to him right now.
That's fair. You're in the Field Museum. Go ahead, Spotter. What'd you need?
If I see 8 Ball looking at me, I pull my hat down a little bit, try to hide myself.
Magnus waves at 8 Ball.
Spar's like, oh God, the teacher is outside of school. Fuck.
With that wits awareness, did I also pick up anyone else of note?
Well, you do notice most of the Primogen are in. You do actually see Walt with that crypt as Abraham is debating and standing up to make his point, tapping his cane, which is what Theodore is hearing. You see Josephine jump up and debate right back at him. And it's not the quirky kind of Josephine, it's the, I know facts, I know this stuff, and you are now trying to gaslight me. Excuse me while I put you in your place, little boy. You also see 8 Ball, of course. You see Annabelle. You do happen to see a smaller, younger woman with black hair flittering about as well. But she's not going towards. When you're in the Field Museum, there's a massive, at one end, staircase that splits up, and she is not near that staircase at all, as if there's like a magical boundary that is prohibiting her from going up those stairs.
Taylor won't even make any note of her.
And you will notice
because
that
to give attention is to draw attention, so she does not.
But you notice that with the crate, you notice everyone has seen you. And of course, 8 Ball will wave to Magnus and gently just tell him to poke Spotter because she gives him a wave too.
Magnus pokes Spotter and points him towards 8 Ball.
And Taylor will lead them up the stairs.
As you go up the stairs, you do see the keeper waiting for you, going, oh, he's waiting for y'all. Good luck.
We'll be fine.
Oh, I know you will be. I gotta look menacing to everyone else. God, just kill. Damn.
Taylor just leans over and gives Cordelia a kiss on the cheek and says, try harder, dear. Try harder.
I don't have to try hard. They're all scared of me. It's the Mohawk. Damn.
If you need a more casual way to threaten someone, just hold like a lot of sturdy metal cups whenever you're talking, and anytime people get lippy, just you may run a few extra dollars on cups here and there, but
I personally find the best way to be intimidating is to never once raise my voice.
Yeah, but as Oh, how they expect me to. So I give it once in a while.
I love subverting expectations. And
And Theo just mutters under his
Chuckles.
breath, I can't always hold back when I yell. I don't know how you all can do it.
Self-control, dear. It's something you got to learn.
And Taylor will open the door.
The entryway into what used to be Peterson's office was more of like this gentle tunnel with soft tones. And then it went right into a full-on office with the backdrop and a lovely scenery. And as you come in, it doesn't look like the old office. It looks like Jackson has made it his own. It's more of like the jazz club manager type.
Ooh.
Taylor looks about the places. I like what you've done with it.
He stands up from where he's sitting and he's like, oh God, of course. And he'll gesture to the woman that's sitting in front of him as she stands up, and it's Naomi. And she's like, well, thank you. I tried to make sure he had more peaceful amenities around here. How are you guys doing?
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm doing good after this night. And he just smiles to her and nods, and he'll go, I'll make the announcement after I have this meeting. She goes, of course. She gives you both all a wink and starts to saunter her way out.
Mm-hmm. And Taylor takes a seat.
Okay, guys. And the doors will close. I know what your orders were. I'm not judging. I'm not even going to question. I just want to make sure I understand so that my spin doctor can spin this in a way nobody's implicated. Got me? I know. Hey, you are doing me a favor. You are doing the big man a favor. I want to make sure.
Oh, we're not
I'm
done
doing you a
yet
favor.
because that didn't catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Valid. But
And
it
don't
did
get
do a
me
lot of
started
damage.
on how that's a mess you and your brood should have cleaned up.
Oh, it's a funny thing why Ms. Naomi was in my office. Kajai, you might want to get to know her very well. She'll be working with you.
Expected so. I imagine you all wouldn't leave your seat open for too long.
No, after, shall we say, this demonstration of him not being able to hold his assets, let's just say the remaining of my clan chose to put her in the seat she's rightfully deserved.
Good.
Maybe now he'll realize that you shouldn't put your assets on such shaky claims.
Not wrong.
But yes, some of the gentlemen here were involved in that tonight.
Want to give me a little bit of a lowdown?
A certain support beam got hit a little hard, and it took down not just that one, but surrounding buildings too. And now there is a new pond where there was once a building.
Down his hat a little more.
Yeah, I was half saying, is Spotter like avoiding looking the principal in the eye right now? Just. Mm-mm.
I mean, it sounds to me like those buildings were not up to code.
Oh, definitely. Not OSHA standard.
Capone has never built anything up to code if he could get away with it.
Yeah, I thought there was a
horrible act of God.
I mean, he's going to have some trouble moving any of his merchandise, considering that was his shipping company that happened to fall
and
into the lake.
ancillary businesses supporting it.
Yeah. And where were those trucks going? Was it Cincinnati?
I don't know exactly where they were going from. I know they were going out of the city.
Cincinnati.
Good to know.
Yeah, fun thing about going through the trucks as I was disabling them, trucks have to have papers for what they're carrying, where they're going, how much is loaded, what's their load rating, all that stuff. You can find out a lot of information in those bags.
Do you happen to have the manifests?
Magnus opens up his doctor's bag and just takes out a bunch of different papers. Yeah, I figured I would clear these out while I was making sure those trucks weren't running anywhere anymore. We hit
May I
them.
have them? Is that okay?
Sure. We hit them right before dusk, so shift change. They'd already brought in most of the trucks and hadn't sent any of them out yet.
Before dusk? Huh. That's interesting.
I figured that might be something your spin doctor could do something with.
Right.
She's
It
a good
couldn't
one.
have been vampires doing it. We operate at night, right?
Absolutely. I wouldn't know anyone that wasn't up during the sun was up. Anyone that knows anything about vampires, we all wake up after the sun sets.
Exactly.
Exactly. Pesky rival gang.
You're not wrong. Kajai, you seem to be awfully quiet.
I'd assumed my reputation had already done enough speaking on this type of thing.
Oh, I see. Let me guess.
He was legit laughing. Oh, Kevin, it's funny. Just laugh.
Oh, I am. I'm laughing gently on the inside. But here's the thing about this, Kajai. I've heard of 2 incidences tonight. One was the trucking company. The other was 2 crazy. What was it? It was a warehouse and a office place. And from what I was told, it was all Sabat. And I went, If I was a betting man, and I am at times, I would have said he would have been there. Not there. Because Kajai's patrolling our cities. He's not trying to attack Capone.
Exactly. He couldn't have been there.
Got you. Hence why I was asking why you were so quiet, because you hadn't said anything about your exploits with the Sabat.
Anyone important enough to need to know what I'm doing would already know. And those smart enough would also already know the truth. There's no need for me to confirm anything.
But yes, from my understanding, both Kajai and Magnus dealt with the Sabat tonight. And Theodore, myself, and Spotter were all seen at Blue Velvet tonight.
Well, I see from how Spotter's dressed. Absolutely. Well done.
Thank you. I can't take all the credit. I have a girl.
You have a
think you'll
girl?
find
A lady.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good to know.
I think you'll find, Prince Jackson, that the Sabat were hit about half an hour after sundown. There wouldn't have been time for us to do anything other than wake up and go after them.
That's what I was thinking, because my sources told me that there was a whole bunch of craziness going on and swords and a whole some of the people weren't even sure what they saw because of what was going on. And then when everything fell down and collapsed, and then they saw the whole lake taking over, and then they saw the rivers going backwards and forwards. And I just said, okay, I want to make sure none of us were implicated into this. Because why would we do anything like that to Capone?
Exactly.
Cool. I want to make sure that I understood, you understood, we were good. Plus, having you guys come and visit me for no reason whatsoever, because you guys look amazing, I might add. You must dress like this more often. Kajai and Magnus, you might want to take note. Post fights, kind of dress a little bit more up, but never mind.
Seeing the prince here. Come on.
I'll make sure to store a suit jacket in with my change of clothes.
You don't have one?
Jeez.
No, I did not take after Ballard and the rest in my choice of dress. I rather deliberately chose not to.
I think Ballard Spin Doctor's helping me on this because...
Oh yeah, she does lovely work.
12 alarm fire.
Yeah. Oh, I heard all the sirens. I mean, everybody in Blue Velvet was like, ooh.
Yes, every single kindred, and I'm assuming others in Blue Velvet were looking out from their tables at the streets.
Right, which we saw because we were there.
We were there.
Absolutely. I have so many texts from so many different people. And I know that some people were actually trying to take credit for it. But I knew that they weren't the ones that would take credit for it because I knew they weren't there. And I know.
Oh, let them take all the credit in the world.
It's fair. And I'm going to let those that want to fall definitely get hurt by the harpies. That's not a problem. I'm happy with that. I just want to make sure I know what's going on. That's the important thing. Yes.
If it helps, those that take credit oftentimes don't realize that they're not being graded.
Yeah.
Or they're being set up to fall.
Yeah, that part.
I'd be curious if you happen to have any rumors of who was trying to take credit for certain actions taken.
Oh, some of the Brujas, some Alcavians. I think that they're all being jumped up from last week's party. Funny, I can't get a contact with Sun. So
imagine that.
I don't know. I think he ran away, and I'm not sorry about that.
Oh, no. What a power vacuum.
Not really. Josephine picked up quite quickly.
She's a capable woman.
I may or may not be looking for somebody to replace somebody else, but that's fine.
Why use Linux when Windows is available?
Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, you can't have a person in two places at once.
No, you cannot, especially considering what was done to her to create that.
And that is why I'm not only working for getting that taken care of, but also working on getting another scourge.
Any ideas?
I have a couple of options at the moment. Nothing just yet. Yes, Magnus?
I could recommend a clanmate, but I don't know if Dread would be willing to loan her out.
I take recommendations. I'll see what I can do.
Gangrel, part of the wolf pack.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, she decided to drag a guy up to Peterson several weeks back. That was entertaining.
He is tenacious.
That's not even a word I would use with her.
Can train someone for you if you like.
If you've got some, I will keep Roar in recommendations, but if you have some recommendations, Kajai, I'd be more than willing to listen to them as well. And I'm sure, Dr. Taylor, if you have any. Look, I know you're a doctor, but I know you have a vast variety of people you are known to know.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to make any assumptions. I just know you might have a list.
Well, you know, I mean, hell, if Karlak doesn't keep his princedom, he's done every other fucking job.
No offense for your connections with Karlak, ma'am, but there are some things I just don't want to get close to.
I don't blame you.
Well, I was thinking about bringing princes in here to have kind of a convention. What you think?
I think it's a brilliant idea. You have ideas that need to be brought up to other princes.
Well, I mean, if we don't, we're all going to fall together, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'll actually be heading to Prague soon, so should I hand deliver your invitation?
Oh, you're going to visit him? And I heard you could, give me a second. Sure. I don't want to touch the man, but his presence might bring some validity to Europe or something.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, it'll be fun to rub it in his nose that, a young Ventru is doing better than he is. So, yes.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Kajai, I'm sorry. What were you saying? My bad.
How do you intend to secure such a meeting? Assuming that the Archons and Justicars don't take an interest, it would be...
No, princes only. This is a outreach program. to see what they're doing and how we can help bring a little bit of Chicago's way their way.
Make a good target for either a sword or anarchs to disrupt.
True, but as you've just seen our lovely Dr. Hammond say, hand deliver the message, it's only given by one representative. It's not going to be handwritten. It's a verbal invitation. If they accept, I will then make sure that they get not just here, but have accommodations for them. And no one will be the wiser. You see, in studying Chicago, I realized 2i is actually all over O'Hare, like a rabid bunny or something, rabid fox, just waiting and chomping at the bit, but nobody's looking at Midway. Midway.
Bingo.
Is still an international hub. If we can fly them in a Midway, and not just usual, I'm talking private jet. I'm a Ventrue. Deep pockets. Private jet, pick them all up, bring them here. Funny thing is with O'Hare, it's got underground. I can go anywhere in the city. We can hold this conference anywhere. Hell, I could even turn around and rent up the upper part of the tower just for that. And wouldn't it be great if I did a speech underneath the crown in the Tribune building? How's that for an idea, Kajai?
Could be effective. I'll do what I can to see that it works out.
I know you will, because your security guys are going to be on that case, aren't you?
You say so?
Say, I'm asking, can I hire your people? You keep going around and I've been hearing nothing but good things about your security forces.
I have trained a few people that could work, though to be blunt, the older kindred won't be they won't be held back by humans of any stripe.
That's why I'm going to
deal with the mortals, no problem.
No, that's why I've got you, because I know that you'll be able to handle all of that. And I'll make sure that they're allowed one ghoul per prince coming in. So they have an attaché, but we make sure that their egos aren't a little bit too big for their britches, if you know what I mean.
Be entertaining.
Yes. I'm all about entertainment. If you guys want to come, I'm sure you guys would definitely be helpful.
When are you planning to host this?
Next year. Maybe about May or June-ish, something like that.
I'd be more of a help staying far away from any gathering of princes, Kevin. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't like your wonderful dry sense of humor, Dr. Smith?
Well, there's dry, and then there's a sample from the Sahara Desert.
No, that's the Assamites. No, I didn't say that out loud.
I can ensure the anarchs are not an issue.
Good, because Anita's getting right up on my ass.
What's she getting up on your ass about?
Oh, apparently they decided to turn around and go into Gary. Well, they went to East Chicago, then through Gary to have a meeting with some other anarchs where, and I'm not quite exactly sure, but they got into a fight, and it wasn't just a fight. It was with the Vanguard.
What are the Vanguard?
Amarillo goons that are specifically given to one person that used to run this city, and I don't think you have to know who that is. And those were given to by an old Justicar.
Makes sense now.
Which one?
I don't remember. I just know it was an old one, but I'll find more information for you.
Old as in retired or old as in gone?
I would say poor Loquinos Dos, but I'm not quite sure. I'll find out for you. I can do that. and let's just say mass destruction, cops were involved. And I'm not just talking cops. I'm talking 2-Eye dropped in.
Of course they did.
So everyone went underground. From what I understand, Anita's blaming me for this, though I didn't do anything to that. Wasn't even involved in that.
I'll talk to her.
That would be great. I may or may not have some people down trying to find out what's going on, some tracks, but I have a feeling
I knew
Maxwell's buying
something
off
went
more than he can
down
chew.
because there was a message left for me.
For you?
Did your people report
Oh.
any strange graffiti?
I mean, all the time. You want to narrow this down?
Yeah, there was a message written on a wall to me.
Oh, you're Star.
I'm Star.
Why are you Star? I
You've
mean,
read the
don't get me
book?
wrong. You look beautiful.
Thank you. A long time ago, I was called the Star of the East.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Wait. You're Lady Hester.
Yes.
Fuck.
Magnus just looks at Taylor and is like, he didn't know this?
Yes, that's me. Was
Okay.
me. God, that was
Is
so long
you.
ago. So long ago.
Look, Critias used to tell me a whole bunch of stories, and sometimes he would meddle and mumble names and kind of flow in and out of time and concepts. And
The
Points.
message was that the message was to me. I'm Star.
no. Wait a minute. Oh, fuck.
What?
So Gerard left a message for you.
Yes. Mark did.
What is the message?
He just kind of gestures to Taylor.
My bet is on Star. Nothing is impossible to a determined woman. I sent Mark to go get information on Maxwell. Because having an Anarch ambassador go to speak with Evelyn was my best bet. I have not been able to communicate with him, but knowing something went down and he likely had to go underground, well, let's just hope he's smart enough to figure out how to get the fuck out.
Oh, I'm sure they're all trying to figure out how to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Sewers are closed off.
That was the first thing I looked at.
Closed.
The sewers of Chicago and Gary used to be joined.
There was this whole thing back in the late 1940s, early 1950s. And they did a whole reconstruction project because Gary was siphoning off Chicago and Chicago was done with it. And they said, go float on your own in not so specific terms.
I don't understand sewer infrastructure, so I was confused. I would think that closing off a sewer would have meant overflow.
Not when you're turning around and polluting the Lake Michigan, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's better ways to go about that.
Gary
I
isn't
think.
right. Well, now that you put more pieces of the puzzle together, thank you, Dr. Hammond, and
you're welcome.
everyone.
I will tell you, though, I have made arrangements to bring Capone out of hiding.
My question to you is, do I or do I not want to know?
Shouldn't need to.
Perhaps
I will
after.
say he was an associate of Sun.
He just slowly kind of does this.
You can imagine that having cleared out tunnels under the city would increase their tunnel building capacity.
Mm-hmm. So he's next on the list.
He was clearing out tunnels.
Yes.
There was a whole shit show with Pariah flooding the Morins. It was just expanding.
Well, I knew about the Pariah and that, but I didn't know he was working those old fucking tunnels.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Strongly recommend having someone review Capone's business interests.
Yes.
I have a feeling he's working with some enemies.
Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if he was also working with Maxwell.
That would be detrimental.
Needless to say, he's next on the list, and so is Maxwell.
And don't worry, there will be a rapid redistribution of assets once that is all taken care of.
I'm sure. Would you like me to tell Naomi to wait? Because she is ready to take charge and find Capone right now.
Oh, if she can take care of it, let her take care of it. But if she doesn't, he has an appointment with someone in a week.
Yeah, she's been
And we
chomping at
will.
the bit. Nope, that's fair.
Between us or her, whoever gets to him first. I don't really care.
That's completely fair.
As long as he's destroyed, that's all that matters. It should have been done by Clan Ventru.
Oh, I completely agree. And from what I heard about last week, again, he'll look over to Magus. I'm sorry about that. Word finally got back to me on that. It was more of Naomi bursting in the doors and asked me why I was acting like a little bit of a child and I should become more assertive in things, and then told me what happened.
Listen
Does
to your
sound like
women.
her.
I'm not listening to my women. I am listening. Well,
Good.
she's not my woman either.
No, what
She's
I
a
mean is the women
clanmate.
of your clan, especially those that have age on you, not necessarily generation or even potency, but those that have age on you. Because especially in your clan, Kevin, the clan of kings, any women that have thrived in it have wisdom that you have never had to gain.
I totally agree with you. I am not saying that I'm not listening to Naomi, hence why I am making her primogen a Ventru, Clan Ventru.
Good.
I will say there is one exception to that, and that would be Loden's grandchild or great-grandchild, whatever she was.
Even still around?
From what I heard, she's around, but she doesn't come to court. She's a recluse. She serves, from what I was told, an elderly man, and she's devoted her time to him. And she really doesn't care about kindred life or kindred politics.
Good
and
for
kind of
her.
stepped away.
Good
Nope.
for her.
I kind of wrote her off, went, you're not a problem.
But seriously, good for her. But those that have thrived within the society of Clan Ventru, you need to listen to them.
Why do you think I have you guys here? And why do you think you're mentoring me?
Yeah.
You intend to invite Mithras to your meeting.
Oh, God.
Isn't he still sleeping, or because it's Queen
Yeah.
Anne now, isn't it?
Imagine they could awaken him if they felt inclined.
Look, there are certain people I wouldn't mind nudging awake. He's not exactly one that's top on my list for reasons. Queen Anne, sure, I'd have her come over in a heartbeat.
From what I hear, she's a
Mithras?
piece of work.
Any woman that has survived my clan for so long is a piece of work, one way or another, forged by fucking fire. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not.
So could you give some more details of ones that you are confident will arrive?
Who, my clan or princes?
Princess.
Any princes, really. Any.
I'm not sure at this moment because I just came up with the idea about, 5 minutes ago.
Oh. You spoke with such confidence. I sort of assumed you had a plan put together.
That's the thing. Confidence is 90% of the game.
Well, then the other 10% must be actual prep. You know this.
Which I'm working on right now as I am talking to you and formulating such ideas.
Well, I can guarantee you Karlak will come. His competitiveness will not allow him to not come.
I mean, he's from your clan. I would expect nothing less.
Oh, he's a piece of work. He's even beyond being Bruja.
Is there anyone that isn't a piece of work at this day and age?
I don't know. There might be a few, but
none that we've met.
Yeah. Yeah.
One, speaking of women from your clan.
Okay.
Sorry, Dr. Smith. One I would recommend inviting, Michaela, Prince of Manhattan.
You want me to bring Michaela here?
Oh,
okay.
Sorry. Player mistake. Sorry. Not Michaela, Helene.
Helene, got you.
Magnus would have known that. I made a mistake.
No, you're fine. You actually see him pull out a notepad and a pen and he writes down, but he's writing in a language that isn't just jumping out. It looks like a lot of dashes and slants.
Where's Coach?
Kind of. It's an old Irish language.
Mm-hmm.
And he just does some slashes and stuff, and he nods, and he's like, okay. I don't mind inviting. We'll put her on the list. Anything else? Go ahead.
Helene is smart. She was able to consolidate power in New York after the Sabbat got driven out.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And she's not afraid to go against some of the old ideas, shall we say.
There seems to be a lot of that. Were you going to say something, Dr. Smith?
It was actually Maddox who was going to say something.
Oh, go ahead, Maddox.
I very much do not know. Who's in charge of Mexico City at this point in the history?
I'm not sure about 2010, but I do know that Fiorenza was going down there.
Okay, so she
may not be prince yet.
In control, or she's trying to yank it from the hands of the Sabbat right now. Okay.
Correct.
One I can recommend. I was there a few years back where I got my last PhD. Karen Suadela. She's a Bruja, but she's Prince of Houston. She is a bit of a traditionalist, but at the same time, open to listening to progressive ideas.
We're all having to be progressive nowadays now, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. So she might be a good one to invite as well. If you would like for me to deliver that one as well, I can.
Be happy to.
Are you looking to only invite those that are within a certain distance, or any who will accept invitation?
Anyone that will accept invitations from me to see where we go from there.
God.
I have one suggestion, if nothing else, for the fascination and novelty of it.
Hit me. Not literally.
It's not a Camarilla prince, if that matters.
I prefer Camarilla, to be honest.
Is this one you may be interested in still? I don't know. But I've heard out in Egypt, in Cairo, there is Prince Muhta Bey. That might be one you want to look into inviting, because that's a fascinating story.
Muhta Bey?
Yes, Prince Bey of Cairo.
And he's not exactly Camarilla?
Independent, the whole domain.
All right. Let's see if I can
He is
extend
Kaitif.
Oh.
He is. That's the interesting part.
Of age and generation.
Well, he managed to stay alive this long.
And that's why you should invite him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want validity, invite Hardestat.
If you don't mind a lot of noise.
Called a rag.
I'm just saying.
I've met none of the Hardestats, but I've heard both of them are loud and obnoxious. So
That's supposed to be a secret. No one's supposed to know that it's the younger actually posing as the elder.
oh, it is? Huh. I just
Kevin just
thought
looks
that
up
one
like he's not hearing any of this.
Taylor can tell that she just told Theo something he didn't know. He was just saying there's he knows that there's the younger and the older.
Yeah,
And so
not
Taylor
supposed to
totally
say
just
that out
spoiled
loud.
that. Taylor totally spoiled that for Theo. That's hilarious.
Dr. Smith, there's certain things.
Dangerous.
Yes, there are certain things I am acknowledging and not acknowledging in this meeting. That's one of them. I'm sure you've heard of the Chicago Way, right?
Mm.
Well, when he turns around and starts to boaster and yell, that's where we turn around and muffle him and mute him.
Oh, I'd almost go to a
Tyler
meeting
did
of
a
princes
number
to
on
see that.
the elder. I'm just saying. But
Well, gang, I know I've got to go for another meeting shortly.
Mhm.
But I'm glad that I have more knowledge than what I did about half an hour ago.
yeah.
I hope I didn't ruin your evenings.
No, it
You
was
can
it
only
was
really
funny.
have-
It was funny making all of the Toreador go absolutely slack jaw when I walked in.
From what I could tell, it wasn't just the Toreador.
I think
I
you
mean,
put a
when you-
couple of Malkavians into a trance.
When you look like that, would you like cover as you leave?
No, it's perfectly fine.
Damn, I know a daughter of cacophony that can turn around and really sing the pants off of them.
That's okay.
All right, I'll use her later.
Enjoy your next meeting, Sir Prince.
Why, Sir Prince? Can you just say Prince?
Well, no, it was a reference. Do you not listen to Stevie Wonder?
I know
Sir
of
Duke.
her, and I know of their music. I am not picking up the recollection.
Literally,
I can
Taylor
get
will take
you a
out her
CD.
phone and play Sir Duke.
And then he will not go, I have been properly schooled now.
And she'll stop it and put it back in her purse. Have a good evening, Kevin. And she
You too.
gets up and goes to leave.
And as you guys leave, he actually follows behind you.
Magnus
Yes,
does turn to him and say, if you could get a copy of those manifests over to my bar, would appreciate it. I've got some people looking through the forensics and such. So
I'll have them sent after I scan them in. Where do you want them sent to? Do you have an email?
I was thinking a courier to the cell block.
Oh, you actually want the hard copies.
It's more secure. With 2i in town, I prefer to be more careful.
Okay, I was just going to burn them after the scan, but sure, I'll send a courier. Not a problem.
Thank you.
And then he will follow you guys. And as you leave the office, he'll follow. And in the Field Museum, on the second floor, you walk so far before there is kind of like that balcony that overlooks the bottom. And he'll let you guys start going down the stairs. And he will then, in his very loud, boisterous voice, not hard to stat, but close enough, he will then announce Naomi as being the Venture Primogen. As everyone gasps, and we will go to break. See you in 10.
We'll be back, y'all.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We may or may not have had a great first session and a little bit of twists and turns everywhere we went. But then again, here we are. And as our coterie decided let's go back to the Blue Velvet. It's alive. It's
As Taylor had everyone's jaw drop again as she walked in.
not wrong. Maybe people are just like,
And
who
left
the
a
fuck's her
lingering
Taylor?
scent of almonds and honey and vanilla in her wake.
Does Bronwyn happen to see us come in or greet us when we come back in? Or someone close to that?
Let's just say you guys made enough of a mark that when you guys come back to the Blue Velvet, The doorman opens the door and says nothing to you, but more welcome back, come on in.
Do we get our exact same table? Because that would also be really impressive if we did.
No. As you come up into the Blue Velvet, place is jumping, music's going. You got a woman, very, very pretty woman, in a soft suit. It's made of blue velvet. And she smiles and says, Brown extends her hospitality to you all and would like you all to go to the VIP area. May I take you?
Of course.
May.
And you pass by the booth that you were in, and all she does is push a button against the wall, and the staircase comes out from the wall. And she unhooks it and leads you all upwards. Once the last of your group passes, somebody turns around and hooks. So you know that this is a very exclusive area. The upwards part is made of black velvet. There are, intimate tables. The lighting's a little bit dimmer, but you're put in the VIP area where it's a raised booth, and it looks like it's almost meeting like, where you can look over and you can actually look down into the club. You could see where the band is. You could see where the partiers are. You can see where dancers are, and even down into the main area. But nobody really has an easy chance of looking up at you guys. This is exclusive. And she smiles and says, can I get any of you all drinks? Yes, you all can drink
Of
here.
course. I would love a drink. Thank you.
What would you like? Anything in particular?
I'll give her an order for something.
Something light.
Take a tequila.
Tequila? Sure.
Magnus orders
Nothing
a
for me.
tequila as well.
Okay. And you'll see her scurry on downstairs, and you are left alone. The people that are up here, there are very few people. They're all kindred. They all do notice you. Let's just say you guys had enough of an effect at Elysium today that no one turns around to bother you. I leave you to your scene for the moment until I give you drinks.
As Theo properly takes a seat at the table with everyone. So is this how Ventru feel?
The grapevine works fast in this city.
Sometimes, in my experience, yes. If a Ventru doesn't, it's more that if a Ventru doesn't feel like this, then that shows they're kind of on the outs with their clan.
Well, we saw what Neely was dealing with.
So that went well.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin's surprisingly amiable through that sort of incident occurring.
You worried?
Like I said, he knew what we were instructed to do.
I think I was just expecting him to be upset about it.
Right.
Taylor lowers her voice a little bit and says, he's not an idiot. He knows it's far better to have us on his side.
As long as we could give him some cover that he could spin into a story that doesn't point to Kindred causing mass destruction, that's all he needed.
Exactly.
That's why we took advantage of that little gift of yours.
I didn't even realize I could do it until after you had mentioned it, because I tried it that evening. I couldn't see the sun, granted. I was still a bit nervous about that.
You totally can.
But I was up with those who stay with me, and it was shocking to everyone.
I do it every day.
It's appealing. It's a lot of extra time.
I have, at my place, I have a rooftop space where I like to sit. It overlooks my garden. I can see the water from the small waterway that's near my home. And It's peaceful. I do that every day.
May I ask a somewhat personal question?
You can ask. I'll decide if I answer or not.
Are you upset that this benefit that you seem to have worked for is just suddenly frivolously within our possession?
I am undecided on that. I didn't just work for it. I was tested. And I passed. The back of her dress is open where it's sheer with a little button closing it at the top. She says, Theodore, run your hand right along my spine where it's exposed.
He does.
You will feel scars within the tree tattoo. I was tested, and I survived. So yes, it is a little odd that those that haven't been tested are able to access the things I can. But ultimately, if it can be used to affect the appropriate changes in this city that need to happen, it's worth it.
I will not turn it down. Through it, I was able to inadvertently give Abana Hakim a headache. So I see every ability that that could provide as a net win. Assamite. Assamite, right. You try so hard to say the new one, and then they go back to the old one.
Funny thing,
Obnoxious.
that's how Hank and I became friends on the L. She tried to read me.
And then you saw her wince, I'm assuming.
And then she came up and had a conversation with me.
I'll admit, that's not what happened when I met Penny. For us, it was, what are you reading? And then she told me. And then I said, I was reading this one. And then we started talking books.
She's sweet on you.
Good for her. It'll never go further.
Oh.
She's a good friend and a decent contact.
What do you all know about the Church of Cain?
You see Taylor's face drop immediately.
Oftentimes among the Sabbat?
Yeah, aren't they mixed up with the Sabbat primarily?
They were. They were the state religion of the Sabbat. But with the Sabbat falling apart now, they're branching out, trying to make inroads into the Camarilla and the Anarchs. Why?
I killed someone tonight who mentioned there was some sort of leader near here. A man named Ardent.
Storyteller? I'm guessing I'd know that name, given
Arden
a certain given a certain connection he and I might potentially have. It's up in the top corner of my little box here. I want to make sure if I've heard of him or not.
I would say this for Arden Canty, who is a Juliet deacon. I would say in religious circles that you probably haven't, but in the occult, his name may or may not have floated.
And he's Tremere.
Yeah. It may have floated about through the occult circles.
I know I haven't met the fucker.
Right. And Tracy may or may not have dropped his name saying, oh, yeah, he was one of the Chicago that decided to peace out and go down south and did not want to stay within Chicago. And he made buddies with Joshua Topolensky.
And Theo will relay all this info about Arden to you all as well.
Topolensky is the Baron of Joliet in Naperville.
Well, shouldn't have been hanging with the Sabbat, I guess.
I find it kind of hilarious that a member of my clan is in the Church of Cain, considering we're not of Cain's blood. But
you kind of got grafted into the family tree.
artificially, but don't worry, many people still remind us constantly to this night that we are usurpers. You don't ever see the Giovanni get this sort of flack.
I think they get their own.
Oh, I'm sure. I just have met so few.
Basically, their whole religion is based on Cain is basically divine, and that Cain is basically an angel of God, and that they've warped Christianity into the Church of Cain. Sure. And so basically they use it to recruit and subjugate and basically do all the things that the human church does, but to kindred.
It's an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
How many changelings were they drinking from when they came up with this?
It was, and she looks to Kajai and says, it was totally brought to even fruition by your clan. Because, they were failing with the church in Rome during the Dark Ages. The First Inquisition. They lost control of the church in Rome. And so they started their own church.
With blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, pretty much. And fire. Lots of fire. Yeah, they like to have people like walk on fire and shit. It's all fire. It's like, yeah. Crazy fucking shit. But yeah, and I'm just gonna tell you, well, fuck it. I am Laka. You probably don't know that term. Bahari.
Do know that term.
That's how you wake up.
Sorry, I don't get out much.
I have basically, in a lot of ways that matter, renounced my descendancy of Cain.
If I may, isn't another term for you Lilin? Or something close to that?
Sometimes called that. That is usually more so for the mages. The cult is not just a vampiric cult. It is a belief structure that spans existences. It is a belief in that there was a dark mother that taught Cain everything he knows.
I mean,
and
that's
he betrayed
part of the book
her.
Of Nod.
Yeah, which was written by a man
part
in
of the book.
A tiny little part of the book. Tiny little part of the book. And she was betrayed by him. And trust me, that betrayal wasn't minor, it was major. But anyway, I don't go around preaching. I'm not a preacher. I have basically found promising people over the centuries and placed them in, we call it, our structure is not like a church. It is not organized. It is very cellular in nature. So there are gardens around the world. Gardens because Lilith had gardens. And I have found people and placed them in appropriate gardens for their inclinations and leanings.
Like the garden down Leeds too.
Like the what?
The garden down in the tomb.
Yeah, she stole that ritual from a Bahari mage.
Gotcha.
That'd explain why it was down there.
Right.
She had a handmaiden steal it from a Bahari mage that was the mother of the Minotaur. I took it back because it didn't belong to her.
And this Lilith, is she still around? Does she
No,
approve of
at least
whatever it is?
nothing I have found has been able to show that she is still here within this plane. It is my belief that Lilith might have been the first, what we consider mage, before modern mages came to be. And she ascended, became equal to God himself. And at some point, which it is so hard, it's been my unlife, and it's truly been my unlife's work to try to find any evidence of things tying to her, because it's so hard to find it. It has been an oral tradition from its inception. So at best, I can sometimes find a few scraps of notes here and there, maybe a ritual written down, but usually I find artifacts from that period and then have to get someone to validate it for its association. But I truly don't believe she is still around, at least not in this plane. She's basically a goddess.
Like Set and the followers of Set?
Oh. Whenever I find myself around the Setites, I just tell them I worship Seketh. And they look at me like I am their sister. It is funny that Set was considered a god when Set was a vampire. It is funny that Mithras is considered a god when he was a vampire. These Methuselah cults, these antediluvian cults, these Canaanite cults, they're all worshiping vampires. What do vampires do?
Kill, destroy.
Deceive, manipulate. Do you not think it is all for their own benefit? I basically renounced that from the point of my embrace. I was already part of the cult before. I had to suffer greatly being embraced Bruja. You see, Cain brought his grandchilder, the third generation, to Lilith's garden to murder her children. That was the betrayal. 2 of her children she had already sent away prior to this event, twins, Anoia and Ravana, the progenitors of the clans Gangrel and Ravnos.
Some of those stories.
I actually, last time I met your grandsire, while he was sleeping, I transcribed a remnant of a writing that he had found. It was the story of a battle between the twins after they had been embraced. There's benefits to being able to be up an hour before or an hour after other vampires are asleep.
I mean, honestly, with Beckett, you could also just ask him, and half the time he'll be more than happy to start just
I
spouting
know,
off
trust
everything he
me.
knows and showing you all his notes. And
Yes. Of course he did. Of course he showed me all about it because he was so proud of his find. And then as soon as he went to sleep, I transcribed it.
We are approaching topics not considered reasonable in the Camarilla.
Thus, I am not Camarilla.
And I don't see a Justicar around.
Please.
Oh.
I used to fuck one.
Question is, Kajai.
Disgusting.
The question is, Kajai, why is it verboten to talk about these kind of things?
I don't know.
You're a primogen now. It's the kind of thing you should think about.
Yeah. Always ask who it benefits.
I have had the opportunity to speak with the great ancestor of my clan, and I cannot speak for any of the other elders, the other third generations, but I am aware something turned him, and I have heard the stories of our so-called defeat of our antediluvian, and I am not exactly interested to be pulled into that conflict.
Valid.
You had been saying something about suggestions for a new scourge. And I'll admit I was somewhat stuck in my own head at points. Was there ever a point where you mentioned maybe bringing in one of your clan that you hope to bring in? If there's one thing I know about the La Sombra, it's that none of you are pushovers. So I don't think a La Sombra as a scourge would be a bad pick at all. If there's any who'd be willing.
Sure, I could find some. Our clan is in a bit of a issue at the moment. Our elders aren't quite sure what they want to do. So it is possible that more of us will be becoming older, more inhumane versions. I want to see how that turns out before I start suggesting more of us for positions of authority.
Let everyone get their Slurpee from Kindred 11 first. I understand.
So,
Thank you for sharing at the very least.
Yes.
might as well not keep it from you if you're going to be using what I got from that association. You might as well know where it came from.
It still, to me, feels like a shocking amount of trust for people you've known so little. I'm not denying that I enjoy the knowledge. It's
I'm
just
not going to
surprising.
lie. Every single one of you are enemies first. You earn my trust through action. Because there are Sapant domains I could walk into and I would be labeled heretic and hunted for sport. The Camarilla isn't very different. But it is here. There are 2 gardens thriving in this city. And there may be a third because I'm considering. Each garden has their own philosophy, their own ways of honoring and worshiping. Not to say that we are necessarily factionalized. There is a difference, though, from garden to garden. Some are more fanatical, militaristic. Others, not so much. Some absolutely fucking hate all men. Some want to destroy the world and recreate a garden in its place. Some wish to drown the world and recreate an underwater garden in its place. There's all freaking flavors.
I also heard that underwater gardens are the hardest to cultivate, but
there is one in Louisiana.
Doesn't surprise me.
good environment for it.
An entire town went underwater. And that is where the garden grows. Yeah. But yes, there's two here. One leans a bit more what we call cultivar. That is more so bringing nature back to the forefront instead of urban societies. And the other is more traditional. Protect the children. Shelter, teach, guide. And while I associate with both, because I recruit, that's what I do, I am not associated with either. My beliefs are unique.
So with that first one you mentioned with the nature, are the lupines involved?
No. The lupines worship a different goddess. They worship Gaia.
One of these days I really should just sit down with questions and just do like an FAQ.
Knowledge is dangerous.
But knowledge is also power.
It's also never something that you should be afraid of. How knowledge is utilized is often what makes it dangerous.
And knowledge is only dangerous to those who are threatened by it.
Since we are sharing things, have any of you attempted to, well, my ancestor has been willing to share information. Cannot guarantee that that boon will pass to the four of you, but it might, or the five, if Bastion is so inclined. Have any of you attempted to ask him a question?
Nope.
Hadn't known that was a possibility.
I have no desire, but thank you.
Any reactions or symptoms we should watch out for in case this develops?
Write him a letter and hand it into the dark. If the letter is taken, he has accepted it. If not, he has not. You will receive an answer either directly or in some sort of guided way to your answer.
Oh, and another thing that you might be able to utilize is when you're around members of the Church of Cain, you can be extra intimidating, potentially. Mention my name.
I like to think that's my natural joie de vivre, but...
Well, something that wouldn't be with all of yours is, but I think might run kind of the same, where it might be able to be shared. I'm a descendant of Xavier. So, several nights during the month can take the form of a giant man-bat hybrid.
Wait, those weren't rumors. Xavier could actually do that.
I saw him do that once. I saw Xavier do that once.
Not just Xavier, anyone descended from him has the potential. And if your gift works the way that you've said, that might also apply to the rest of you.
That's kind of crazy.
You're saying
very effective.
You're saying due to my clan's collaborative efforts, I
You
don't
can
even
turn
know
into
why.
a giant man bat monster. Yes, you can.
I don't even know how that would help me, but it's good to know I have the option.
Combat, number one.
Yeah.
Very effective
Yeah.
combat.
I suppose it would be rather shocking for a Tremere to just do that in front of someone too. They would never expect it.
You want to talk about
you
making
also
jaws
get
drop?
giant claws and fangs. So, but also you can kind of fly
I'm guessing it destroys clothing.
a bit. Yes.
Just to make sure.
When is the next night for this gift?
Okay, that's a storyteller question because the book literally just says
When the moon is right.
When the moon is correct, like when the moon is right. So
The book gives you an Oingo Boingo lyric.
it's
Yep.
really like
Pretty much.
it really is just like, you know,
A week and a half from now, who knows?
Yeah, it could be, tomorrow.
And let me just.
When
Yeah,
it's
this
either
says when the
waxing
moon
or
is just
waning,
right.
you can do it. Okay.
I
Might be
believe
helpful when fighting either Maxwell or
Yeah.
I believe that the next time would be in a couple of weeks. I tend to know just because there's a bit of stirring in my blood.
Oh,
What's up?
no, nothing. I just have so many experiments to run.
Nice. Well, speaking of experiments, so this came up while we were here earlier.
Yes.
Before you all, before Kajai and Magnus were here. You may find it easier to pick out the weak spot in a building. Just saying.
Oh, you pulled it off with that sort of gift.
He's a descendant of Zelios. What do you expect?
Actually, Junie, just to test this out, because Theo's curious, I'm going to look for any structural integrity issues in Blue Velvet. I don't think I'll find any, but you never know.
Just keep in mind there are other factors like understanding architecture. So you may have varied results.
Theo's still going to try and give it a shot because now he's curious.
And you don't want to drop a building on your head.
That's
or an
fair.
entire district.
I mean, 10 crit, my guy. 10 fucking crit. You walked into that one.
Before
Give me a minute.
around poking support wills.
Okay, give me a intellect and academia roll, and you can boost your intellect if you so choose. You can blood search if you'd like.
I'm not that serious about it. I'm just testing it out.
Okay.
You've given this from your toy box.
While he's doing that, Magnus just leans over to Taylor and is like, I would be interested in hearing more about this belief system you have.
I'm happy to share. Actually, I was going to do some explanations for Misty because she asked some very good questions. And if you would like to be there for that, I can go more in depth. I can even show things that I have found. I have a library of them.
That sounds like a good idea.
As Taylor and Magnus talk, Theodore, you tap into the saboteur of the Descendant of Zelios lore sheet. With a 4 success, it's almost like you look at this place and it turns into a blueprint. You know where all the beams are. You know where the support beams are. You know that there's not just 2 floors to this building. There are 6. And the 4 are underground. You see there are tunnels. You see there are a vast amount of tunnels all the way up to Navy Pier, but they don't go past. and they go through to the west part, just to where the river is, but they don't go past. You see different networks of tunnels, and it looks like little rooms, almost like holding rooms. You do see storage. You see different areas. You don't see anyone really walking it. You just see where the layouts are. Like this is a honeycombed area. Looks like from where it was designed and how these are designed and how they move about, it looks like there was a lot during the 1920s, being this is an older building. Could have been for, Prohibition. It could have been for earlier times as well. The Kindred have been here since the late 1700s. So this could have been held and maintained for quite some time. And, Browan's only been here for so long. But as you are looking, you can see little pits, little falls, little cracks, and you really can't bring everything down, but you see the entire network like it's a blueprint. And then as you're looking at this blueprint and things start to put into place, you actually, with your perception, hear somebody slamming up against the building as if there's a fight outside. Not in the building, so you can't actually hear it, but you can feel the structural damage a bit. But at the same time, you see where all of this building puts into place.
And Theo's just gonna, not timid exactly, but a little hesitant, like look at Spotter, point at a spot that's clearly like breakable and be like, am I looking at the right area here?
Should I roll it? I'll roll.
If you'd like to roll, I'd say I'm going to give it to you and you could just say, yeah.
Because it's one thing for the amateur to utilize this lore sheet. It's another for the expert to utilize the lore sheets.
Yeah, I mean, that'll probably bring down the top floor and damage the one below it.
Oh, so none of the lower floors then.
Oh no, someone who was clearly not me because I was here earlier in that other section of the city was underneath.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly detailed information I just gleaned.
Oh, it is interesting. That is for sure.
This club is so interconnected. There's tunnels
Considering
everywhere.
what she's trying to do here, I'm not surprised.
Correct.
Let's just say my sisters are their own type of information network. And yeah, she's catering to specific palettes.
Ah.
Find balance.
That's what they like to call it.
Yeah, I
Picky
wouldn't necessarily
eaters.
call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Picky eaters like children with vegetables.
More like rich kids with designer drugs.
Yeah, that part.
Similar metaphor.
Mm-hmm. So that's what she's doing. Let me guess. You saw things like holding cells and things? Yeah.
Holding cells, storage. Not all of it's even utilized, which is the odd part. I would utilize all that space.
She probably will one day.
Through
If she
expansion.
survives that long.
If she survives that long. Yeah, she's basically starting up something new.
Well,
And
since
this is her test to see if it'll succeed. And if it does, I bet you she's going to expand.
seems solid so far, if she can keep things orderly.
I'm willing to bet she hasn't branched out as much as she plans to, because I was very specific when I mentioned the Church of Cain having drunk from changelings. For those of you unaware, drinking from one of them is essentially like drinking a cocktail of LSD and a whole bunch of other hard drugs.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've heard a fascinating experiment took place with the La Sombra.
Literally have no desire.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
No. I
also
like to
wouldn't
keep my
recommend-
faculties about me. Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend trying to replicate that experiment because my living cousins tend to get quite violent when someone decides to forcefully drink from one of their own or try to change one of their own.
I have no interest in interfacing with them in that way. I would like to collaborate with them more on that curse thing you mentioned. I still feel like I could make headway. For any who would be willing, I know changelings don't tend to like us.
We tend to be what they call banal, too attached to the mortal realm, for lack of a better way of putting it. Their philosophy and beliefs are very different from others you might have come into contact with.
Speaking of him, the curse, I do have that information you were looking for.
Good. Thank you.
Not all of it was in the paperwork. If you want, I can tell everybody. It doesn't matter to me. But
yeah, no, that's fine. I'm gonna put a cold iron bullet through his head at some point.
Good.
So.
It was a little alarming. I actually asked the city to if it knew anything about this guy, how he's been around. Just try to get a feel for this person, not the banal, like you said, banal stuff, like the travel. That's all in the paperwork. I don't know how to say this. The city doesn't talk. It's more pictures, more images. And him, he was there the night of the fire when you were embraced.
Not surprising. Someone that petty would want to see the results of his handiwork.
Right. Which brings me to the second point. They got the very strong impression that he didn't care how you were cursed, as long as you got cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that's what I got.
There are very few that hold a petty grudge as well as a changeling.
Yeah, sounds like it. So, yeah, if you need help, this guy sounds like he needs to be removed from the equation.
As you guys are speaking, you hear that familiar Irish brogue of, "You need to go tell your brother what you did, and you stay up there with him now until they leave." And you just hear this, okay. And slowly Misty comes up the stairs, kind of looking a little sheepish. Her dress is not exactly intact anymore. She's got a new dress on. It's a mixture of black and kind of blue. And she's with the regular shoes. So the shoes at the bottom parts of the heel may have a little bit more red on them than they were naturally intended to.
Misty,
You were supposed to be at my place.
Yeah. I went there, but then your friend said, "Let's go out for one more drink." And I said, "Yeah, she'll be fine. You'll be okay with it." And so we came back here and we were downstairs. And then this guy, what?
Were you the one fighting outside?
Maybe.
Theo will just tap his temple and then point over to Spotter for people who may not get how he knew that.
Got into a debate and I wasn't really good with my knowledge, but at the same time, I remember what Aunt Taylor said about certain things. So I asked a couple of questions and they didn't like it. So he told me we're going to take it outside. We took it outside and I followed what Uncle Kajai told me to do. I may have won.
Who were you debating with?
I don't know, some asshole that was in some kind of like 3-piece suit, and he thought he knew everything.
Oh, that does not narrow it down.
A quarter of the men in
Take a
Chicago.
seat.
Did he have a
Taylor's going to
cane?
get up and go downstairs to find this asshole.
Oh, as you start going down the stairs and starting to look about, you see people going back to their tables. It's like, oh, fight's over. Let's go home. And you see a group of people kind of just quietly trying to leave. It's almost like they're cleaning up what was left. The asshole, actually, if you go outside, you will see several people taking this man out. This man's not walking.
I'm going to look at
Taylor.
him. I'm going to suss if he's actually a vampire or not.
110%.
Followed Taylor.
Do I recognize the guy?
No, not at all. He's one of those low Ventro that have absolutely no rank, nothing. And he thought he was talking big to a small little pup.
Oh, she laid out her first neonate.
But you see them all quietly kind of just not making a big fuss, slinkering out. But I will give you this, both Magnus and Taylor, there's a hole in the back of his coat.
She gave him a boot.
He's
That
not
matches
walking.
her fucking heel.
He's not walking.
She hit his spine.
Junie,
Mm-hmm.
does Magnus recognize any of the ones with him, considering what he knows about Capone or Loden's brood?
They would be more of not Loden's brood nor Capone. They would be more of Ballard, but they're not really made men. They're more of like interns, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so
They're
Magnus
not-
definitely knows them because he is Ballard's lore sheet.
Right. He has Ballard's lore shape, but these guys are inconsequential, is what I'm trying to tell you. So they're not really one or another, but they're definitely not Capone's and they're not Loden.
But they might know Magnus then.
They may or may not, but their backs are turned as they are going into what looks like a limo, trying to get away quietly, not to cause any more fuss.
Taylor's literally going to stick 2 fingers in her mouth and whistle really loud.
You just hear several fucks. Go take care of it. And you see one guy say, fine. He turns around, smiles and gives a wave. He's a neonate. You guys really wouldn't know him as the other 2 start to get into the limo. He's like, can I help you?
Taylor flips on Daunt.
He
Magnus
steps
has-
back because he's not wanting to get in a fight.
And she says, the next time you assholes want to pick a fight with a fledgling, you'll deal with me.
Ma'am, totally understand. It was a misunderstanding. Why we're pulling him away, why we're getting out and trying not to cause any more problem.
name?
Oh, right. Oh, that's Gary. He's an idiot. He had a little bit
Obviously.
too much to drink, if you know what I mean.
I know his face and his name. If he fucks up again, he's mine. And she just
Understood,
turns
ma'am.
and walks in.
Like, he's trying to just get out.
He's trying not to bloodshed himself because she is
You're
intimidating
correct.
as fuck.
While those 2 are out doing their thing, Misty will just look at Spotter, Kajai, and Theo going, what you said, Kajai, I modified something.
Lay it on us.
I'm listening.
She happily pulls off her thing, and this is as Tyler and Magnus are coming back in. She'll pull off her heel, and she'll show the little button that's inside her shoe. And as she does it, the heel part moves to the side, and you could see that there was something in it. She'll go, I modified it.
Okay.
With what device? What did you do?
And as she's about to explain, that's when Taylor and Magnus
Taylor
come
walks
in.
up and says she completely severed his spine and he can't walk.
I staked him too. That's got a stake. I injected a stake into his heart too.
Oh, baby's
Ah.
growing up.
I told what Uncle Jai told me to do was to make sure that I was smarter, quicker, and faster,
Yes.
and to go for the thing for well, not really the throat, but I thought if I went for the heart, I may have not really aimed it that well, and I'm sorry if I did something. But
No, he deserved it.
He'll heal.
Oh yeah, he was telling me I wasn't a person. I wasn't from Anoia, but I was being annoying.
He was being clever.
Well, as clever as it sounds like he could be.
Mass produce those shoes. You may have something unique for them.
There are several
other shoes.
There are several Toreador who would absolutely pay top dollar for those shoes.
Absolutely.
I mean, fair, but kind of wanted to make them special so I could surprise people. Surprise.
Your decision.
Don't worry, he won't be pestering you anymore.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to really dig to get the steak out.
That, and I made sure that even his friends know not to fuck with you.
You.
Although, congratulations, from what is typical, that particular group tends to be very tough. So kudos on getting a stake through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he thought I was just a wimp, and then he said I was not from Anoia, but I was annoying. But then he said that all women were horrible, and we couldn't do anything about it. So I turned around and I showed him just exactly what a descendant of Lilith can do, and he did not like that.
I'm kind of glad you didn't tell Taylor that before she walked out.
No, well, he was staked. I don't think he could talk.
Good.
I'm not sure they would have gotten in the car had you told me that.
Tell you now.
Mm-hmm.
She would have picked up the car with them and smashed into the building.
Not the building. I don't want to mess up Bronwyn's place. But
and also Taylor has a little more respect for the Masquerade than
I do. I do. It serves a valuable purpose. But okay. Where is Lena?
Lena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who picked you up to take her.
Ghoul?
Right. No. She had to go over to she got a call because one of your students was having an issue. So she said she was going to go to the college and I would stay here and that she would pick me up later. She didn't want to get you involved because it was all kind of humany things.
An issue with this hour?
Well, I mean, it's anytime, really.
Did these people start to mess with you before or after she left?
Oh, after.
Lena's intimidating too.
No, Lena did her thing and I said, don't worry, I'll sit here. I'll be fine. I met some really, really nice ladies that were we were all talking and dancing. It was really cool. And then they had to go do the human thing of the bathroom. And then that's when the jerks came in.
None of you recognized those kindred, correct?
No, I mean, I don't turn around and normally go out and hang around with kindred that dress in wannabe 3-piece suits from the 70s.
Magnus, you look like you recognized their association at least.
They looked like low-level Ballard people. Not important ones, not ones put in charge of anything
obviously
the gophers, essentially, who
they were interns.
Want to be something, but
yeah.
Misty, before Lena left, did you see her speak to anyone? Did anyone happen to hold eye contact with her at any point?
Oh, no, it was just a text. And she said she had to go do some stuff over at the university. And I went, okay, no big deal. I mean, it was just simple stuff.
Just making sure.
Oh, yeah, no.
Be careful.
She texted me when she made it there, too.
I think you need to text her.
I mean, I think she's fine. She sent me a text that she made it there and she had some work to catch up on. It was okay. I was like, cool.
Anybody can send anything from anyone's phone.
Are you able to get
Taylor's
in contact
gonna
with
call her.
Taylor?
Takes about 2 rings and you just hear the hello, can I help you? And you hear tippy tapping of keyboard.
Yeah, I'm wondering why you left Misty alone.
I am so sorry. I got a message from Europe. So I turned around and called them. And I knew I couldn't do it from the bar. So I went over here because they were looking for the information for the dig. you wanted me to push this. So I was just making sure. I'm so sorry. I mean, is she okay?
She got into a fight.
God.
Yeah.
Did
she
win?
cannot be left unsupervised.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I will make sure that I don't leave her. I will bring her next time. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And she just disconnects.
Look, it's okay.
Misty,
did they
stop.
mention anyone else to you? Any other strange names? The reference to Anoia is a bit strange for a neonate, especially of Ballard's connections. He doesn't exactly strike me as a scholar of our kind.
He's not.
No, they were just talking about a whole bunch of shit. And I remember what Aunt Taylor had said, but then I also did my own research on a couple of things and then was like, well, what if this? And plus I remember what Mom had said about my lineage. So why not have a rousing debate? Which we did.
Don't ever try to debate, morons.
No, I know, but I did debate and then he pulled me outside and I won a fight. So yay.
Was he the one slammed against the building or you?
No, him totally. I was the one who flipped him into actually, he had tried to jump me from behind, and then I turned around and flipped him into the building.
Wow, a Ventrue who attacked from behind. He really isn't much.
And then I did the spin kick, put my foot against his rib cage to nail him against the wall, and that's when I let the thing go through.
For future reference, you'll know if a Ventrue is actually of high quality because they will attack you face to face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because that's the only way that clan knows how to properly handle their problems. So you dealt with the dregs.
Cool.
Also, keep in mind fighting outside. Nothing flashy.
Nothing flashy.
Oh, that's why I did the whole just kicking out and stuff. The throwing against him was easy because that's physics, and I've done that before.
Right.
But before I turned into this.
Trying to fake him is a huge red flag.
That's why it's in the shoe.
I know. But smart people watch.
Oh, got you. Okay. Sorry.
Do you know how to remove the stake from his body?
I do.
Go digging for it?
You should find them and offer to remove it for an appropriate price.
Okay, I can do that.
See what they think about offering you boons. That's a good way to start.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't think they'll understand what the fish wire is for. It's see-through, so you really wouldn't think where the fish wire is connects to the stake. It's thin. But
Oh, also, a bit of a warning. Don't say that name casually. Not everyone in the Camarilla is exactly okay with those names being mentioned.
Well, I mean, that's was a debate. That's why. Sorry, I'll keep it quiet.
Is
there
but you need a certain level of power to be able to have certain discussions openly.
Just think of it as hiding from the religious police for now.
Ew. Why are they Catholic?
Close.
Worse.
Protestant?
Kind of, yeah.
Oddly, I still personally feel you were closer with Catholic, but
if you mix the worst parts of the Catholics and the evangelicals, you'd be pretty close.
Born-agains.
Not quite.
Okay.
Anyway. Let's get you back to my place. Jesus Christ.
if nothing else, this now proves that Misty can accept instruction readily, because everything that she said she did seemed to be in line with what we've all told her so far.
Yeah, let's just see if she can avoid having fights attracted to her like fucking flies. And Taylor is going to get up and basically reach a hand out to her and say, "Let's go, girl."
Okay. So, can I introduce you to my friends before we leave?
Sure.
Nice.
Sure.
Okay. And she'll go downstairs and introduce Misty, or she'll introduce Taylor to a couple of women. And as you guys all go home, or however you guys end the night, this is a wonderful place where we're going to stop for the tonight and find out what they're going to do next week. Dun, dun, dun. So,
someone totally brain fucked Taylor's ghoul, and we just can't figure out how yet, because that's so fucking weird.
No, she's dealing with fucking Prague. Because he's being a jackass. Yeah.
Okay, I see now. I missed that part.
There's no, it's fine.
She's dealing with Prague because he's being a jackass.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming in. Don't forget, Shank Shanky, and get this woman a coffee, please and thank you. And Mama, you have now the way to see us out.
All righty. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for this session of Chicago Hidden City, our Vampire the Masquerade V5 game set in 2010. And do join us on our Discord. That is where Junie cast this game for this stream. And we now do have a casting call open for a 7th Sea campaign run by our amazing European GM, Dr. Tiss. So do join us on the Discord. That is where we hang out and talk on the daily and cast our tables and sometimes do Zoom chats when we're not streaming both Saturday nights and Friday nights. Yeah. And of course, if you would like to catch this episode will be uploaded to YouTube in the next couple of days. But if you would like to catch back episodes, you can do so at our YouTube channels. You can check out this stream and other streams run by various STs on the McStabber Studios channel on YouTube. And you can check out our GM, Dr. Tiss, her content on the London Esoteric Society channel. She just wrapped up 100 sessions today of Call of Cthulhu. And Rip Bree, your character went out like a boss, okay?
It was amazing. It was amazing. You should go watch that episode. It was dope.
But on her YouTube channel, she has a D&D 5e campaign called Ishvel. That was a custom Nordic-inspired world that she had created for that campaign. That ran on this channel, but it has been over for a while now. So it is in its entirety on her channel. And now London Esoteric Society is also on her channel, which is a Call of Cthulhu 7e stream set that was set in Victorian era London. So do check those out as well. And of course, we have amazing friends that also stream, if I can type. Boom. There we go. Junie Von Esch, what you got going on your channel?
Oh, besides strangling yarn because orange doesn't look good and they don't have Wi-Fi, we're making dumpster fires as well as other cute, weird, cuddly things that kind of make us remind ourselves that, life sometimes is a dumpster fire. I'm also not only there, I'm found over at Ravenous Archons. We are finishing up actually Old Gods of Appalachia tomorrow. And I'm over on Ree's where I am a mage, where I'm going to let Ree go into it.
All right, and Ree, what you got going on your channel?
This upcoming Tuesday, Arcane Veils continues as our cabal of mages are something to deal with this strange node and what may or may not be a spirit inside. So they have to come up with some interesting ways to deal with that problem. And so go give ahead and give it a give it a look. I think you will enjoy seeing what they have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
At least I will.
And of course, do check out Ravenous Archon. As Junie mentioned, she will be on there doing Old Gods of Appalachia. And he has a number of mini-series that he's planning to run as he's getting back in the swing of streaming on his own channel. He had to take a hiatus due to some life issues that came up, and he's now back at it. And we are so happy for him. He has also been running the mage portion of our Queen's Gambit storyline that we've been running, and they just wrapped last night with their second session. They will be back in 5-6 weeks to finish up that mage session because we are doing 3 sessions per splat. And I will go into what's coming up next in the schedule after I get through this other stuff. And of course, also give a follow to Mischievous Red. She has been a player in multiple games of ours here on McStabber Studios, but she also streams on her own channel. Right now, she does it on Sundays when she has the spoons to do so. And right now, her hyper focus is mini painting. So go give her a follow and give her some love from us. And of course, if you would like to support our channel or our players, you can do so by showing us your biddies, because we do give bits and donations to our players. And if you would like to support the channel, you can do so by subscribing here on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription a month. You may consider giving that to us. And you can also give a donation to our Ko-Fi page if you are able to do so. But if you would like to support us for free, please go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe there for free. If you're watching videos, like them and comment. That will show the algorithm engagement on that video and promote us in the search rankings on YouTube. It's a free way to support us. We appreciate all the support the community gives us, and thank you all so much for that. And of course, we have merch. I don't really hype it a lot because we don't make much money off of this endeavor at all, including our merch. But if you would like to check out the merch, there's a link in chat right now. We have studio merch and various campaign-related merches from various streams that we have done. And do make sure you're signed in to an account so that they can verify your age, because we do have under the Windy City, which was an ongoing V5 Modern Nights campaign, there is a Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would Camp Counselor t-shirt that I'm rather proud of. I designed that. And it is a really good shirt. But because it has Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would with the fucker actually in it, Zaz was like, no, you got to rate that as adult. So yeah, make sure you're signed in so you can see all of our merch, because some of them have swear words and you need to be signed in to see it. Yeah. And of course, we have coming up over the next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Demon the Fallen. Myself and Maddox are in that. We're in LA. It's 1999. Lucifer has appeared in the sky. We are playing the end of days scenario of Demon.
And no other demons can seem to pull their heads out of their ass.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, they are demons.
Yeah. But we've got some demons in our choir that are starting to have a little bit of crisis of faith, at least in their factions. Because, yeah, the Faustians have been just sus as fuck from jump. And, yeah, I know, right?
See, if you were part of the cryptics, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, right. Y'all cryptics are sus too.
Yes, but we're quiet sus, and that's why no one cares.
Right. So there's some interesting things developing for this group. And we have a Luciferian Devourer played by Ravnos Archon. That is, yeah. It's hard to be a Luciferian with this crew, okay?
Yeah, unfortunately, he sees too many alternate perspectives to just be a Luciferian.
Balanced.
But yeah, that's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Queen's Gambit continues, but this time we'll be returning to the Queen's Gambit vampires. I will be ST for these vampires as they finish their third session. They have raided an abandoned Tremere Chantry in Milwaukee in search of a keystone for a ritual to unify the shards of broken totems that caused the null zone in Milwaukee. And they are now in their last stage of this endeavor, and they have just entered the lair of a very old, very powerful chimerical sphinx. If this was changelings, cakewalk. But this is vampires.
Changelings would only need to sit down for some nice afternoon tea with the thing, and it'd be a total soul.
Just switch groups, Rufus.
All the riddles, y'all. All the riddles. Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. And if they fail, they get it.
I walks on no legs ever. You, after I tear off your legs.
After I tear off your legs. Yep. So Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern for that. And then Saturday, there will be no Call of Cthulhu stream. After 100 sessions that have spanned over 3 years on our channel, our GM, Dr. Tiss, is going to take a break. A well-deserved break. We promote self-care here. So we will be back here at 8 p.m. Eastern with our Toreador back. Kai, we hope you had a lovely time at your event this week. We missed you. We'll be glad to have you back.
Show us your medals.
Show us your medals. That's right. And so we will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday with the next installment of Chicago Hidden City. And lastly, please take care of yourselves, y'all. As I said, we do promote self-care here at McStabber Studios, but we also support and promote people taking care of their well-being, including mental well-being. If you are currently struggling right now, I know, literally, as Junie said, life is a fucking dumpster fire right now. I get it. I get it. I do. Please take care of yourself. We need you around a long time. We need good folks to be around to help fight for what's right. So please take care of yourselves. If you are currently in crisis, right now in chat, there is a list of organizations that you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you are in crisis and need help and don't have a support network to rely on. Also, if you are watching on YouTube or you are not within the U.S., you can go to findahelpline.com. That site, you can look up by your location and find crisis support resources available to you. Please get the help you need. Please, 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 please. I heard of an 8th grader taking themselves out in the U.S. because of the direction our country's going in. An 8th grader, y'all. God, love you fucking kids. Please. Please. And I'm Mom McStabber. I'm a registered nurse. Please make sure you're vaccinated. Get your fucking vaccines before you can't. And honestly, if you voted third party, abstained for voting, or voted for the fascist, rapist, convict, get the fuck off our goddamn channel. And if you're in our Discord server, leave. I have no tolerance for the intolerant. Y'all have a good night.